Hey there, Bubby. Welcome to Shanghai. My name is Duke, and this is another grading video. One of these a day, every day, about, I say 15 to 20 minutes, but it's usually 20 to 25 minutes. And I am, again, full disclosure, I'm grading these books for work. I'm kind of doing it on my own time, just for fun, as kind of the warm-up to my work day. Make a little video talking about the grading process, little tips and tricks maybe of grading, but mostly just to share the fun and excitement of comic books themselves. So there's nothing real, like, as I say that, I'm going to tell you nothing real exciting about this batch, other than it's a bunch of Batman books from the 70s that we're looking at right here. And we'll probably get through the rest of these Bat books here in this video. So if you're a Bronze Age baby like me, maybe you'll remember these books, and this will be a little bit of fun for you. Maybe if you're much younger, these will be new books for you to look at. I think these are going to be mostly higher grade here as I look at them. Oh, and again, just full disclosure, as I said, I do, these are being done for work, even though I'm doing this on my own time as I'm making a video. But the company I work for, there's two websites. sellmycomicbooks.com is kind of the buying arm, and .comcomics.com is the selling arm. We sell on eBay as .com comics, and so that's where all of these books you're looking at will end up, probably within a week of when this video goes online. And also, you may be interested in the other YouTube channel, sort of the official company YouTube channel, which is Sell My Comic Book. And that's where we do unboxing videos. Sometimes you'll hear me as sort of the disembodied voice behind the camera, but mostly that's the Sean and Sean show. Sean, the company co-owner, Sean, the longest-serving company employee. And they unbox collections as they come in and kind of start the sorting process. And those are fun because they never really know what's going to be in each box as it comes in. So that's a lot of fun. But this is, again, grading. Please do like, share, subscribe, do all of that stuff you know how to do, because you're probably more practiced at eBay than I am. So it helps with the algorithm. So as I've said before in previous videos, I take a book, I form kind of a quick general assessment, and then I start narrowing down. So I pick up that book and I'm like, yeah, fine. It's not a good, it's not a near mint. Fine. Okay, well, the high end of fine or the low end of fine? And if it's the low end of fine, is it bad enough to get into very good? And then sort of in my brain, I convert over to the numbering system. Excuse me, I'll edit that burp out. But I don't. I'm too old to start with the numbering system, because that came along well after I started collecting comic books. Oh my God! Speaking of old. In some of the previous videos, the two or three immediately prior to this one, as we've been going through books from the same vintage, you've seen me kind of making fun of the Columbia House Record and Tape Club. But these are not just records or tapes. These, by golly, Mr. Man, these are 8-track tapes. And if you're young enough, you probably have no idea what an 8-track tape is. But it's literally like a reel-to-reel tape, kind of like a cassette, but bigger. It's sort of like a cassette on crack. They were, I don't know, an 8-track was probably about that long, and that thick. And I guess they're called 8-tracks because originally they held just 8 songs. But anyway. Back in the early mid-70s, an 8-track tape was sort of the height of mobile music, because the cassette tape hadn't come along yet. And as far as mobile music technology went along, having an 8-track player in your car and the 8-track tapes being able to just kind of rattle around on the floor without too much damage, unless they sat in the sun. And if you remember cassette tapes, you know what that would do to a song. So the paper quality is nice. It's starting to tan on the edges. The centerfold is nice and tight. The back cover is nice and tight. The front cover, all the edges look tight. We see that somebody has stapled what is likely an arrival date, because this is June cover date. So it would have gone on sale in March, April, May, June, 3 months earlier, and there it is, March. Can't tell if that's a 3 or a 5. I think it's a 5, March 15th. So, the store, the mom and pop shop, whatever, would have, a lot of them would stamp something on it so they knew when they got it. Because the cover date was not when the book went on sale. The cover date was generally intended for when you took it off sale. That's when you pulled the book, if it was still unsold, and sent it back to the distributor. Or when the distributor would come in and pull it for you. So the biggest thing with these books is these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right in there, pretty heavy. So too much for a 6, I think, especially with that black cover. But I think we can call that a 5.5. It's not so bad that I'm going to go down to a 5, a very good fine. This has got a lot more fine than very good in it. So I'm going to call that a 5.5. And I do hope you agree with me. And the dog just got up and is going towards the door, so I might not finish this video before the wife comes in, getting home from work. This is a nice looking book. This is Batman 250, and we actually have two 250s here, as you can see. You got some blunting here, but the edge, you got a couple of kind of more bends than creases or tears. You got a little color discoloration, color fading right there. And that's probably just, the stress of the book being opened. A little blunting here and here. So the edges are blunted, but the spine is nice. This edge is nice. You do have some, again, usually from where it was being held well read, you've got some micro tears and some bending here on the outside edge. Back cover looks good. Inside cover, inside, I should say, looks good. Let's find that centerfold. And the centerfold looks good. I always wanted one of these. I always loved this ad, and it fascinated me. And I always wanted one of these Zap Action pirate things. And this is Pirates of the Caribbean, you can see, because of Walt Disney Productions copyright. I've never seen any of these in the toy collector market. If you see one, let me know. At Durago Duke and all the social media, and let me know where you saw it. I might want to bid on it. The day Bill told off his boss. See, this is a problem. I should be grading, and I just have fun looking at the book. That boss is an asshole. Look at that. He came right out of Asshole Central Casting. He should be chewing on an apple. Get in here, Bill. I want to talk to you. You punched in 7 minutes late. I'm docking you an hour's pay. And it better not happen again or else. Oh yeah? I got news for you, Mr. Bemis. What a perfect name for an asshole boss. Mr. Bemis. I wonder how long product development worked to come up with that. I've got a new job offer with a real future at twice the money. Anybody be crazy to pay you that much. That's what you think. I've been learning electronics in my spare time at home. Could you do that today? Could you learn electronics in your spare time at home today? Well, if you could, now I can take a pick of good jobs. You got to be kidding. You and electronics? Yes, now I've got a career. CIE made it easy. And the wife is here. I can hear her coming in now. So I'm going to call that a 6.5. I'm a little hesitant because kind of that little micro tear and blunting there on that corner, but the rest of the book looks nice. Actually, yeah, I'm going to call it a 6.5. Hi. Oh, there she is. I don't know if you can hear her. Sheila just said hi. And Sheila's here with dinner, so I'm actually going to stop this video. Bye. And she says bye. and I'll pick it up tomorrow, and I'll edit the two halves together so seamlessly that you won't even know that it was done on 2 different days. So we will see you then. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and do all that kind of stuff. And I'm back, though it's a couple of days later. See, after supper, I sat down to continue working, and would you know, I completely forgot about the video. I did. I forgot all about you. I'm sorry. So those Batmans you were looking at, they're done. They're graded. They're out the door. But that's okay. We'll just pick up with the next stack on the desk, and that will be these Fantastic Fours. We will move on from Bronze Age Batman to some Silver Age Fantastic Four. And we'll just knock this out here for the next 10 minutes. Second half of the video will be these Fantastic Fours. And here we have FF21. And you can see that, well, this is going to be kind of a low-grade book. And which, I mean, it was a higher grade book, it would probably go to CGC, right? But a whole bunch of stuff going on here on the spine, and a lot of wrinkling and folding there. Sergeant Fury, and this I think is the issue that ties Reed and Ben to World War II. Says they served together in World War II. I think that's in here somewhere. Which, I mean, this was 1963, so this is only not that long after World War II. But, yeah, looks like this book has got an extra staple in it, though, there, see? And I don't know why somebody would do that. It doesn't look like the cover was detached at all. It looks like it's still nice and tight. Let's look at the centerfold if we can find it. It might be hard because that extra staple is going to make it a little hard to get to. Where is the centerfold? There it is. That's all tight. So I don't know why some little ruffian added an extra staple. I don't. Although it looks like the same kind of staple, that might be something that was done during the printing process. Nonetheless, that will that's going to be half a grade anyway, I would think. As far as the rest of it, it is, for a white cover, it is in surprisingly nice shape. A lot of Marvels that we get in, and I don't know if at Eastern Color they were printed on a lower grade of paper, the cover stock, than DC Comics, but Marvels that we get in from this era, almost every collection, all around the edges in the back cover, there's some significant browning. This stack here, though, is not bad at all. You know, they look quite nice as far as the paper quality goes. But as far as everything else that's going on here, I think this is going to be a 4. It's pretty solidly in the 4.0 range. I actually, with all of the folding here, I could probably go down to a 3.5, and I probably will because of that staple. So I'm going to call that a 3.5. We do have a little rip here, which doesn't help. And that's dangerous because that whole corner could come off without too much handling. But there's no spine splitting, just a whole bunch of nastiness. So I'm going to call that a 3.5. That's my assessment on that. So we will pop this bad boy in the box here to the side. Write down the grade for the lister. So in the description on eBay, people will be able to see that if they don't notice it on the scan. I almost didn't notice it myself at first. All right, Fantastic Four 23. Now here's another thing. Just as I noted that a lot of the Marvels from this era, and here you can see this one's starting to tan at the top. Still not terrible in comparison to a lot of the Marvels that we get in, but the other thing that seems to happen with Marvels, and I don't know why that is, as opposed to DC's, you will get all of this folding and tearing along the top. And it's like the top of the covers tend to overlap the actual inside of the book. See how the bottom, nice and level, everything is the same depth. But here on the top, the cover extends past the inside of the book. And that's common on Marvels from this era. And so what you get is the whole top of the book. I mean, you would think, as they're stored in boxes, you know, vertically like that, that it would be the bottom that would get damaged, but it's not. It's the top. And so you have all these, I mean, you've got 50 some odd micro tears right there along the top. The spine itself is pretty good. There really aren't that many, not that many tears there. So again, we're looking, I think probably, this one could be a 4 or 5. I don't think we can get, because of all of this going on, I can't quite get up to a 5. But it's a 4 or 5 because we don't have much on the spine. The edges, you know, the bottom and the side edge are both nice and clean. And the whole front cover presents well. Let's take a quick look inside. And I'm looking for that centerfold. Make sure it's playing hard to get. But yep, that's tight. So yes, I think I'm going to call that a 4 or 5. And that is almost exclusively because of all of that bending and tearing along the top and the blunted corner there. The rest of it could easily get up into a 5 and maybe even a 5.5. But that's going to be a 4 or 5. Now, something's going on the back side here. Oh, crap. Look at that. Can you see that water damage? And the book. Can't tell if it came off the press like this or if it has, that's handling afterwards. But this book is cockeyed. It's not folded right. You get all this tearing along the top. Again, it's usually the top, not the bottom. Wow. Paper inside isn't too bad. Not really browning or anything. That's not, well, that could be the start of mold right there. Which we never like. That is the enemy of comic books. Oh, yeah, see. It's like this sat in a mud puddle or something. And we have some chipping along the sides. So, that spine, well, it's not really rolling. We have rust. This is kind of weird. The water damage is on the bottom, but it's the top staple that has some rust on it. Bottom staple looks fine. I'm going to call that a 2.5. It's not quite bad enough to be a 2, but there is certainly enough going on there that's going to have to be a 2.5. And now we've got some Submariner. I think this is going to end up actually having, oh, we've got some subby there too, with some of that Kirby collage stuff. You know, I always wondered, did Kirby use public domain photos for his collage work that he did? Are there any Marvel comics that actually violate copyright? I don't know. It's kind of neat that this is all collage. And they've cut it kind of in front of Sue. That's cool. But then drew this in. Interesting. So we got a couple of subbies here. We'll look at this one. With special guest star Doctor Strange. And this would have been fairly early on in Doctor Strange's career, I believe. And you correct me in the comments below if you think I'm wrong, but I believe this is Doctor Strange's first crossover outside of his backup feature in Strange Tales. So this is kind of the book that solidly puts Doctor Strange in the MCU. We have kind of a vertical stress there, where it looks like obviously the cover was folded back when it was read. Yeah, I could feel rust on that bottom staple. I hate rust. Ooh, rust on the top staple too. We'll probably see it better from this side. I do hate rust on staples. I will take off a full grade for rust on staples, and maybe a couple of grades if it's heavy enough. If it's heavy enough that sometimes, oh, it looks like that centerfold is detached. Sometimes the rust will be so bad that it's actually rusting inside, and you'll have, like, the paper will be starting to rust up or get gooey. You know, it'll actually, the rust will migrate from the staple to the paper, and the paper will be kind of muddy almost. It's kind of gross when it happens. So with the rust on the staple and the centerfold attached to the bottom staple, I would say, and the inside of the book doesn't look bad, and the edges are fairly tight. We've got some folding here, but and no spine splits, just, you know, your average abrasions and tears along here. I'm probably going to call that a 3. You know, without the rust on the staples, that could probably be a 4. But I don't like rust, because once rust starts, that never gets better. I mean, the most you can do is kind of mitigate it so it doesn't get worse if you store it in decent conditions. So yeah, I'm going to call that one a 3. 3 because of the rust, and then just the rest of everything else you saw going on, and of course the centerfold attached from the bottom staple. So that's it. That's as far as we are going to get. That's going to make this still about a 25-minute video. So there's some other Fantastic Fours that will be going up on eBay here within the next week or so. Not going to have time to grade these on camera, but there they are, just to look at them. And once again, thank you so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, do all of that groovy thing. Do the commenting thing down below. Whether you want to object to my grades or just chit-chat about these books, that would be great. And until next time, not be everything there is to say about grading, but Bubby, that's all I know. So, good night, good luck, and please be good to each other.